Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Gritty Hour. This week we have a special guest, two special guests. We have Lily and Joy from Lily's MediSpa right here in Millbrook, New York. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. Thank you, Tom.
We're
You didn't have to reach.
the location where we're at is mainly right across the street from you guys. So you're at 3286 Franklin Avenue in Millbrook, New York. And then I'm gonna say your phone number for the store is 845-677-6100.
That's correct.
All right. So how you guys doing, first of all?
We're doing great
Surviving
today.
post-COVID, or are we post-COVID?
I don't know about post-COVID.
Do you still wear masks? Customers still wear masks in the store?
When I'm working with clients, I do.
But you're doing intensive
well,
one-on-one, right?
Yeah, I'm upfront and personal,
Right.
so I think it's important for myself and for my clients to have that level of protection.
Sure. So I know I spoke to you in the past. I know you had two locations. You decided to consolidate here in Millbrook, right?
Yes.
And you're doing very well, I'm told.
I'm doing better than I ever did in the last 18 years.
Yeah. How do you, what do you subscribe to that? People moving up here, or?
I think it's a combination of things. One is certainly the influx of people who have moved to this area has helped me quite a bit.
Yeah, there is a tremendous
They're coming
influx,
in and they're at this point wanting to receive services because, you know, while the COVID was going on, nobody was getting anything done.
Right.
Well, and they're ready to treat themselves.
Sure. Well, let me ask you a question. Excuse me, Joy. How did you get into the skincare business? Would you consider this the skincare industry?
It's medical aesthetics, and to just backtrack a tiny bit, when you asked, you know, why am I doing well? Part of the answer is because there's more people here, and they're ready to do services. But the other answer is I've transformed my business from you know, basic aesthetic services to non-invasive body contouring, and that has been doing very well for me.
So you think that's part of the boom you're experiencing?
Absolutely, yeah.
And Joy, you've been studying this business also for a while?
Well, actually, my background is in anthropology.
Wow.
So I graduated with a degree from Bard College in anthropology in 2018, and my area of focus was actually Middle Eastern studies. So I've done 2 institutional review board approved researches, both in the United States and Connecticut and Greece.
Wow.
And so with the pandemic and with everything going on, I kind of focused my energies on supporting the family business, and I'm looking to now apply to PhD programs in the near future. Definitely COVID, I think, certainly impacted a lot of different people all over the globe. But just to kind of emphasize what we do here at the practice, you know, Lily starting 17 years ago, going on 18, and started out with laser hair removal, right? And so it was more aesthetics. We added modalities that improved skin tone and texture, like photo rejuvenation, skin tightening procedures. And with COVID, actually in March 2019 is when we started to really focus more on the non-invasive body contouring. And with that, it's not only targeting fat or tightening skin or increasing muscle, but it's also, there's an entirely new wellness component to the services that we offer. And actually with COVID, right, we could offer services, and we continue to, right, fully masked, more than 10 feet apart from our patients, minimal you know, proximity to patients, yet still being in the treatment room there, comforting them and giving them services that actually improve their quality of life.
Right. So a guy like me that has 3 chins, do I get a package deal?
Totally.
So exactly, what does a client do? Now, they'll come into your place and they may read a couple of the brochures about Emsculpt. And how do you take them from your front door to start treating them?
Well, I mean, it starts with educating them and letting them know that this technology is available. Many people don't realize what's available to them, and don't realize how non-invasive it is.
Yeah, and what we mean by non-invasive, no pain, no needles, no numbing cream, no downtime, no inconvenience, right? You're in and you're out, feeling
We're not
and
cutting,
looking good.
we're not slicing, there's no anesthesia.
Right.
And
So
It's a treatment where you come in, depending on the treatment, fully clothed, not painful, and you get a treatment that does for you more than what's humanly possible for you to do for yourself.
so it's like doing 100 sit-ups without sitting up?
Oh, it's much more than
Infinitely
that.
more than that.
Yeah. So
Definitely.
give me the down low, like what exactly is it?
Yeah, so I think maybe because this is such new technology and very cutting edge, maybe if we go step by step through the different procedures,
Sure.
because when I say radio frequency for one is a little bit different than high fem technology for another.
Well,
So
let me take it, let's start with this way.
yeah,
If I came into your shop and I said I'd like to,
Take care of your triple chin there.
I have Irish skin, it's a bad sun
Okay.
over the years, and what would you recommend with a fellow like me?
Well, let me answer that one. Clearly you have rosacea.
Yes, I do. Yes.
You do, and I have technology. The Cyton BBL is by far the best technology to non-invasively treat your condition.
Is that a light treatment?
It's a broadband light, yes.
Right.
And we cauterize the blood vessels, stop the blood flow going to the superficial blood vessels that causes that flushing, and we cauterize them. And so the result is immediate. Most people, after having the treatment, get up, look in the mirror and say, oh wow. And then that oh wow gets even better 2 and 3 days later.
Wow, very nice.
Yes.
So it's like ultraviolet light, or?
It's a broadband light. Yeah, it's in the ultraviolet spectrum. That's correct.
And that treats the cells, I guess, in the skin?
Well, yeah, down to a molecular level, it's rejuvenating. So it's doing a couple of things. Rosacea is one condition that we can very successfully treat and manage. Then you have your pigment. That's very treatable as well. So you get a brighter skin, clearer skin, smoother skin, healthier skin. It's not only aesthetically more beautiful, but it's actually healthier skin. And that's because the technology changes gene expression. And that's according to Stanford University, with extensive studies of science and documentation that actually proves these statements to be true. It changes gene expression, and simply what that means is it has the ability to shut down aged, unhealthy skin cells, and it activates young, dormant, healthy skin cells.
Interesting.
So you have more healthy skins that are active, and the unhealthy skins, you have less of them taking place.
So that would be for your complexion. Then for your chin, we do have a technology specifically where it has different applicators that we could apply all over the body, but for the chin, it's called TrueSculpt ID, and it utilizes radio frequency, which actually does two things in one. So radio frequency is incredible for tightening skin, improving the texture of the skin, so crepiness, it's really nice for that. And what we would do with 15 minutes, just 5 minutes here, 5 minutes in the middle, and 5 minutes along the side, helps sculpt your skin, make it tighter, and help eliminate some of that fat.
Wow.
And it heats the fat cells.
Now, is that an what? You said radio frequency.
Yes.
What exactly is it? Is it a?
It's a monopolar radio frequency. Monopolar radio frequency that heats. It's attracted to the water content in the fat cells. It heats those molecules to a temperature range of 42 to 45 degree temperature range. Within that range, that's when the magic happens. It kicks those fat cells into what is called apoptosis, which is a slow cell death. And over a period of 3 months, those treated fat cells will start to die off, and your body will excrete them through the natural processes. So through your perspiration, through your lymphatic system, and through other natural processes, we eliminate those fat cells, and you start to see
A tightening.
an improvement in the number of, so you are gonna have less fat in the treated area, and you're also going to see tightening. Today, radio frequency is the most effective method to tighten skin. There was something else I wanted to say about the fat cells. So just as a matter of fact, by the time we're 2 years of age, we have the same number of fat cells that we're going to die with. What happens with those fat cells is, as we gain weight, those same number of fat cells are expanding and shrinking when we lose weight. And when we gain too much weight, they swell so much that they can then split and become 2 fat cells. So when we eliminate fat cells through radio frequency, for instance, the number that has died off and gone is not going to come back. So it is permanent, because you will never gain weight in the same way in the treated area again, because you don't have the same number of fat cells there anymore. So the results are pretty long term.
And it's non-invasive like the Emsculpt is.
Non-invasive.
15 minutes. For the chin, I would recommend probably 3 treatments, because we're doing 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. But you walk in and out. We encourage our clients to drink plenty of water so that we can, really flush out those killed off fat cells through the lymphatic system and really optimize the treatment results.
Right.
But then let's say someone who wanted to treat their abdomen, right? That's the most popular area that we treat on the body.
That would cost me a fortune.
I mean, some
only
people,
kidding.
It's non-invasive, it's no downtime, it's effective. You have to be realistic with your expectations.
Right. Now, what would be, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but what would be your typical customer? Is it male, female, a mix? And what are they looking for? That would be my...
Predominantly women, but we do have men. And I think definitely body contouring, it's seasonal, right? People definitely for the summer, they want to get their summer bodies going. So,
Those bathing suits out of the closet?
Yes. But it depends. I mean, we have a range of...
Yeah, definitely by far more women than men, but the body contouring is changing that. And there's more men interested in aesthetic services today than we had maybe 5 years ago.
Well, maybe you'll be the leader of that, bringing men into the industry for treatment.
I'd love to have that happen.
And I cut you off before, Joy. You were saying you were going to go point by point in terms of your services.
Yeah, so I would say in terms of the most effective non-invasive body contouring in the world, actually not just offered in our practice, is the Emsculpt Neo. It is FDA cleared. It is absolutely wonderful, because you're getting basically 2 different types of modalities in one. You have the radio frequency, which is actively burning fat and tightening skin, in addition to the HiFem Plus technology. So HiFem stands for high intensity focused electromagnetic energy, and the plus is that it actually goes through 6 different phases. So we continue to have Emsculpt. We started out with Emsculpt. It does have that HiFem technology, but it's not the plus. It has 3 different phases. So it's more muscle building and toning intensity, which allows for a more sculpted physique, a stronger physique, right? More wellness associations with it. But then the added radio frequency during your treatment time, which gets to both heat the muscles, and when you heat the muscles, you're kind of prepping them for their workout, in addition to also getting at that targeted temperature to actively burn fat cells and tighten skin.
Right.
So it's very remarkable, the before and after photos, and what we've been seeing just in trying these treatments on ourselves and on our clients. In clinical trials, they found with extensive evidence that with only 4 treatments of the abdomen with people with a BMI of 35 or below, they find 30% fat reduction and 25% muscle building of new muscle fibers that did not exist
and
before.
skin tightening to top it all off.
Yes.
So it sounds like you do a holistic approach. You take all the tools in the toolbox
Yes.
and interweave them into one treatment, or?
Well, but thanks to BTL, that's the manufacturer. They're actually out of the Czech Republic, in
I'll
Prague.
tell them where they can mail the check.
No. Yeah, no.
They're a remarkable company. You know, there's the non-invasive body contouring technology that's aside from BTL, and the best of it can only get about an average of 24% of fat loss. And then you have the BTL, the Emsculpt Neo, which is the device that we're very excited about. It's the latest non-invasive body contouring device, and it has 30% non-invasive fat loss plus the added muscle building of 25% and the skin tightening. So on their own, they're very good. They've done studies on their own. Then they did studies where you do one treatment and immediately follow it with another. And we were doing that in you know, our spa. We were doing the classic Emsculpt, and then we would follow it with the True Sculpt ID, which is dedicated to fat loss. And there is synergy when you do them back to back, but then when you put them in the same treatment, the high fem technology for muscle building with the radio frequency for the non-invasive fat loss, when you combine those two modalities in the same treatment, there is even more of a synergy.
Higher rate of,
And they didn't realize that until after they started to do it, and that's why the 30% is achievable.
Definitely want to emphasize that, and also it's actually less time that patients are now doing treatments. It's more convenient within their busy lifestyles. It's less expensive than to do two separate treatments. Combining it in one is more cost effective. And then depending on, you know, the patient's concerns, right? You know, some people, it's a spectrum, right? We respond differently. Some people have a little bit more, you know, fat that they're looking to target or muscle tone that they're looking for. So you can help the patient actually achieve their ideal goal just so much more easier.
And I'm sure you also recommend an exercise routine.
Definitely.
There's no
in conjunction with the.
There's no question.
Yeah,
You need
there's no shortcuts.
No, you need to have a healthy lifestyle. Otherwise, the results are going to be short-lived.
Right, and more modest than it could have been if you combined it with.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
A diet and exercise. And,
Yeah, that's necessary.
Right. Can you smoke?
You shouldn't be
You
smoking.
shouldn't.
No, I'm kidding.
I was gonna say something. So I don't know, you know, how many people know about this or think about these statistics, but so the skin is the largest organ of your body, right?
Sure.
It's the exterior organ. How much do we pay attention to it on our face, let alone the rest of our body? You know, really honoring our bodies. As we age, right, we produce less collagen. Our muscle mass decreases, our bone density decreases. From 30 onward, your muscle mass decreases by 1%. Your bone density
1 point something.
From 70, I thought it was from 70, after 70 it's 1.5%.
I thought that was after 30, but it doesn't matter too much.
It's
Either way, it's going down.
Yeah, it's going down.
And then collagen, you know, 1% with every consecutive year more.
Wow.
Yes.
And as we
It
lose
compounds.
muscle,
23 years old?
23 years old.
Wow.
Yes.
and as we lose muscle mass, actually it's very directly related to our metabolism. So the less muscle mass, the slower our metabolism becomes. So a lot of people think, oh, I can't lose weight because my metabolism is slow. It's not your metabolism, it's you're losing too much muscle mass. If you could build that up, then you'll be able to lose weight better and faster.
Right.
And this is just what the Emsculpt and Emsculpt Neo does for you. It's not just an aesthetics treatment, it's truly a wellness treatment, because when you build your core, or your biceps, triceps, your pelvic floor muscle for that matter, everything is just better. You stand taller, you're
Your
just
posture.
stronger.
Yeah.
Your endurance is better, of
And
course.
Sit straighter.
And it improves longevity as well. I mean, having that increased muscle
Yeah.
on your body as you age with time. If you fall,
Well,
right,
exactly.
you won't break a hip the same way that you would if you were this fragile.
You can prevent a
perfect
fall.
sense,
Yes.
yeah.
You can prevent a fall.
Yeah.
Imagine, you're tripping and you can actually balance yourself and prevent that injury from ever taking place.
Yeah. Well, you're both very good role models for the things you're producing, because you're both sitting perfectly with perfect posture, and I'm slumped over. So this is what can happen to you. You can start sitting like this.
Emsculpt.
Hey, there you go.
Emsculpt
Well, actually, I
Neo.
want to talk a little bit about that. I'm just going to take a 2-second break.
Yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit about the Emsculpt and what was the other
Amsella.
Amsella. So we're going to get to both in a second. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we're back with Lily and Joy from Lily's MediSpa, located here in Millbrook at 3286 Franklin Avenue in Millbrook, New York, and their phone number is 845-677-6100. You were explaining the various procedures you have available, and the one thing that struck me is it seems to me that you not only have to treat your client, but you have to educate them the way you're educating us now on the podcast about specifically what you offer and what it can do. Molecular distribution, fat reduction. So is that a major challenge to you, educating the customer?
I'm not sure it's a major challenge. Most people who are coming in are serious about taking care of whatever it is that's bothering them. And it's a matter of showing them different options. Of course, there's also different price points. And you always want to, give them options. And of course, combination therapies is always going to be the best approach.
The whole toolbox.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can only treat so much with one technology. And it's going to, for instance, if you're trying to target skin laxity, you can treat it with photorejuvenation, you can treat it with skin tightening by Cyton, or you can treat it with the Cutera Secret RF, or you could treat with all the above and have even a better result.
And I think that's the one you're pushing, because
I'm not pushing it.
Not pushing, but
that
that is the best available treatment. All of the
Yeah. If you're looking for the most you can get out of non-invasive or minimally invasive treatments, then you really want to do all the above.
Right.
And I think with us too, we also want to manage our patients and what their concerns are, but also helping them with forging a healthy relationship with their bodies,
Right.
And with their skin. And yes, definitely combination therapies are something that might be a totally new idea to people. Most of our technologies are so cutting edge, people don't know about them, right? And I actually thoroughly enjoy talking to clients
I was just gonna
educating
say,
them.
you
It makes
seem
me
like
happy.
you like educating people
I
about
definitely
that.
do, because it's good to know what's out there, and then you can kind of budget for it. All of our consultations are free. You're not, pressured in any way to move forward with treatment. But one of the things that Lily and I definitely emphasize is these kinds of treatments, whether they're aesthetic or wellness, just like anything else, it's a way of life, right? A healthy
That's exactly
lifestyle
right.
is a way of life. You don't go to the gym and you don't work out for 2 weeks and expect next year for you to maintain whatever, changes that you had.
Right.
Healthy skin is a way of life.
It
Right.
has to be a way of life.
Yes. And what
So it's
better
an
thing-
attitude. It's
Well,
an attitude approach.
yeah, it's not if I can only do this treatment or those 2 treatments and I'll be good forevermore. No, it's not like that.
Well,
at
how
all.
long,
It's-
like, do you have clients that have an ongoing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we forge relationships that are over. I'm in business about 18 years now.
And some of the clients,
Some
I'm
of
sure,
them, yeah, right from the beginning.
that's
And
great. That's a
they
good
come in.
testament to you, actually.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, and they tell me, they thank me. They say, Lily, thanks to you. When people compliment my skin, it's thanks to you. Well, I mean, you had something to do with it too. You actually came in for those services.
And do they like the new direction? Well, not the new direction, but the augmentation of the service?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because as a pedestrian observer from across the street from where you guys are, I did see a lot of machinery coming in here.
Yeah.
So you've put your
I'm
money where your mouth is in
I'm
the
a
redirect.
technology junkie.
What do you have in there? Now you
I have a lot.
Emsculpt, or is it Emsculpt?
Emsculpt.
Apologize. And then the new Neo.
Yeah.
What are they now? Are they like you lay on the bed and what happens? What happens to a customer who comes in?
Yeah. So, you know, a client would come in, we'd give them their free consultation, we talk to them about their concerns and create a personalized treatment plan for them.
Right.
And depending on the body area that we're treating, so with the Emsculpt and with the Emsculpt Neo, they're laying down in a treatment table. So if it's the abdomen, we'll put a belt on them, lift up their shirt a little bit, and put on an applicator for 30 minutes where they're getting the most intense workout of their life.
Wow.
And in that workout, they're going to have over 20,000 supramaximal muscle contractions, or 100%. So supramaximal, 100% muscle contraction. If you're an Olympic athlete and you're doing a bicep curl, let's say, or you're doing a crunch, and you're doing one crunch to failure, meaning that you cannot, it's the heaviest weight that you can lift to create that contraction, you're not doing 100%. This treatment is
You're
completely
reaching about 40%.
This treatment is completely bypassing the brain and a complete biohack where it's actually using an electromagnet to create that contraction for you, and it goes through different phases. And in so doing that, it's able to basically interact with the motor neurons on the muscle, so it's having nothing to do with your organs, nothing to do with your bones. It's selective treatment. It's very specialized technology, and it's really giving you the best workout of your life. And over the course of a couple of months later, right, it takes 3 months for the body to kind of really regenerate these cells and excrete the fat cells through the lymphatic system, and you render your result. But some people see results sooner. They definitely feel results sooner, and it's incredible. Even the phases of the muscle stimulation, it's never the same treatment every single time. There are different algorithms.
Muscle has memory.
Yes, muscle has memory, and there are different algorithms within the machine that don't allow your muscles to adapt to the workout.
They get resistant to it.
Yes, and
There's actually 300 engineers working for BTL Industries, the manufacturer, and over 300 engineers actually, and this device is so advanced and so targeted, like it is literally blind to everything in your body. The only thing is interacting with are those motor neuron endings, and it's a very powerful magnet in the Tesla energy. And don't let that scare you, because they've engineered it in such a way that it is so safe and so effective.
Working out while laying down has me sold already.
Yeah. I'm telling you, and you walk out.
Well, I was going to ask you, what does a customer feel when it's attached and they're
It feels like contractions. There's very fast contractions. You're feeling the crunches, but they're going so fast. You know something is happening.
Is it uncomfortable? Is it comfortable?
No, so it's intense. It's definitely intense.
Not painful.
It's not painful. It's intense. And we don't just crank you up to 100 in the first 10 seconds here. We build you up, right? You get familiar with it. But it's nothing like your body has ever experienced before. It's almost, when it's in the abdomen, it almost feels like a pulling sensation. But when I'm doing the arms, right, that's a much smaller muscle. The applicator is smaller. It's more contoured. Your arms will literally be flapping up and down like this. Your triceps, right, the calves, the glutes, the hamstrings, every different muscle in your body responds a little bit differently to the protocol.
Do you ask the customer does it matter how long ago they've eaten? Do they have to fast?
No fat. You don't want to eat a big meal before the treatment.
Well, that was the first thing that thought of when you were explaining that. Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing your arms or your calves, who cares?
Right. No, I meant the abdomen.
Yeah, for the abdomen, I would eat after maybe.
It's important to hydrate, especially with the Neo. Hydrate the day before. Drink plenty of water.
So, what differentiates the Neo Emsculpt from the other Emsculpt?
A lot. It's actually a whole lot better. I was very upset when I heard about the Neo because I purchased my Emsculpt in March of 2019, and or
2019, right when the
19.
pandemic.
As the pandemic hit,
in
and
New
I
York.
thought, oh my God, I'm done. I'm gonna be wiped out.
Yeah, you lay
It's
out
a
cash
very expensive
for a
technology.
new technology, and then
And
you shut down
really
for 3 months.
expensive,
Yeah.
yeah. And even then, I mean, people weren't doing anything.
And customers weren't coming out.
And then to top it all off, in October, they came out with the Neo that is very substantially better than the Emsculpt.
So you're doing it instead of, or you're
We're
doing
doing both.
it in
Both.
conjunction with?
They're good in conjunction.
You have to know how to utilize both technologies. So with the Neo, we're going to debulk, and with the Emsculpt, we're going to enhance, maintain.
I see. Okay. So so the customer is feeling that, I guess they have to adjust to the, involuntary movements. It's,
Yeah. I think it's fun.
It
It's
sounds
super
fun.
fun to be in the room. You feel this adrenaline rush. You feel these endorphins from the treatment. We had a clinical trainer do a booster training for us today. I got my thighs done, all over my body. I'm super comfortable.
Right.
Even within the treatment itself, both with the Emsculpt and the Emsculpt Neo, they release with these contractions. So you go through longer phases or shorter phases of the muscle contractions, kind of simulating like planks or crunches or curls, right? But then it also releases lactic acid within the muscle to help with recovery and to help you feel not super sore the next day. And you can actually work out that same day. There are people who do their 30 minutes of Emsculpt and then they go straight to the gym that day. The next day, you're fine. Maybe if you have the abdomen workout, you might want to work another muscle group
Does
that
it burn?
day.
Does it burn calories, Joy?
Calories? That's a really great question.
My quick answer is yes, it has to.
Because
Well, your
you're
body is
sweating.
It
adjusting.
has to.
Yeah.
Your body's adjusting to the
Yeah.
involuntary reactions, so it must
Yeah.
burn.
There's real energy taking place here.
But I think it's more important to think about it less in terms of calories and more of, because you're creating that really impactful, 100% muscle contraction, you're thinking long term that new muscle fibers will actually be created in the weeks and months to come. And in order to create those muscle fibers, what is it doing? With the regular Emsculpt, it's actually targeting local fat and using that as energy to create those new muscle fibers because fat is easier to break down than muscle.
Right.
And then with the advanced Emsculpt Neo, not only is it doing that, it is also actively killing fat cells with the radio frequency, so you're getting the double.
So I guess that what you just said sounds to me like it may be increasing your metabolism as well, no?
Well, the fact that you're building more muscle fibers, your metabolism is gonna be.
Just to adapt to what you were just saying.
Yes.
The body would have to increase the metabolism to adjust to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And so with the fat loss, yes, it does take up to 3 months for all of that to happen because remember we talked about the apoptosis, the slow cell death, and how the body has to excrete the dead fat cells over a period of 3 months. But the muscle responds a lot faster. So immediately after a treatment, there are people who actually see a very noticeable, visible result. And muscles, I mean, within days sometimes, but certainly within a month, you're seeing chiseling.
So I wouldn't think this would be recommended, or maybe it is, for like a post-op rehab.
Definitely.
It can be?
Absolutely.
Now what if you had like a new hip put in? Would that?
So so actually the manufacturers of Emsculpt and Emsculpt Neo, these 300 plus engineers that they have working with them, this technology, the HiFem technology, the muscle stimulation, was initially designed for NASA astronauts whose muscles were going into atrophy. So it was designed for muscle rehabilitation. And they found with their clinical studies that there's a slew of other wellness and aesthetic benefits. And so that's how kind of these technologies have evolved over the past couple of years. But in terms of muscle rehabilitation, of course, but again, when you have surgery, there are certain, you can't just hook them up right after surgery.
Metal
if
is
they have
a
metal,
contraindication.
Yeah,
for
even
this treatment.
titanium.
Right,
yeah.
right. But other kind of therapies, it would be a good therapy for other kind of post-op
With
approaches.
no metal, yes.
Yeah. To rehabilitate.
To rehabilitate,
Right.
yes.
Definitely.
A whole spectrum of post-op procedures, or?
You know, I think they have to heal first from whatever surgical intervention they had. You know, you don't start this immediately.
Certainly.
Right.
They have to recover first, but then yes, it does speed up recovery and rehabilitates muscles.
Well, it sounds very exciting, especially the Neo, Emsculpt Neo. And I know, having been in your store, you have other, you do sell skincare products and other products,
Yeah.
right? Or what do you generally have?
Yeah, well, we actually have quite a few services as well as retail products. We retail, for instance, Skin Better Science. Today, I believe they've won, is it 32 industry awards for being the best in the industry. Best.
And what is it?
Medical grade
It's
skincare.
called
Oh.
Skin Better Science.
Skin Better Science is the
yeah.
brand?
Yeah,
Okay.
and you couldn't get it from a department store. You couldn't get it online. And you couldn't get it directly from the manufacturer themselves. You have to go through an approved provider.
Like
It's a
Lily's
physician.
MediSpa?
Like
Yeah,
Lily's
a physician
MediSpa.
affiliated,
Yeah.
medical spa
Right.
practice.
And we're very proud of the skincare we offer because it's very meaningful. You're not wasting your money. It's money well spent. That's one line that we carry.
And then we've got other services like the Amsella, which actually couples very nicely with the Emsculpt and the Emsculpt Neo.
Very
So,
nicely.
Quarter floor therapy
Yes.
has been very popular and life-changing actually
What
for
is that?
patients.
So let's talk about Amsella.
Yeah.
So Amsella is also the high fem technology, the high intensity focused electromagnetic energy that also builds strength and creates new muscle fibers and strength to the pelvic floor muscle. So it's going to strengthen the pelvic floor muscle. It works for both men and women for urinary incontinence. A lot of people think urinary incontinence is just a normal part of aging, and that's true for men and women. And no, it's not normal. We're supposed to have full control over that condition, and
For your lifespan?
yeah, and there's a non-invasive, no downtime, fully clothed, not painful treatment called Amsella Treatment to help rebuild your pelvic floor muscle as well as the organs in your pelvic floor.
It helps lift them, carry them higher. And the pelvic floor is actually connected to your abdominal core. So there's a synergy with the quarter floor therapy where if you do the abdomen treatments and then you do the Amsella treatments in conjunction with one another, you're actually building off of the results from them both. There are also protocols for people who don't suffer from urinary incontinence but want sexual wellness with the Amsella therapy in all genders. We can do this to give you a completely, drug-free, non-invasive, comfortable treatment that actually promotes sexual wellness in everyone. And it's so nice. It's a chair that you sit in. So the treatment table, you would be laying down and it's doing the 20,000 crunches for you for the Emsculpt or the Emsculpt Neo. Whereas the Amsella chair is a chair that you sit in. You just need to make sure there's no metal, on your body, so no zippers or anything like that. Just come in with joggers or leggings. And you just sit in the chair, and with every single treatment, it'll give women 11,200 Kegels, and men the equivalent of that.
I don't know what the hell a Kegel is, but it sounds good. What is a Kegel?
Well, it's much more than a Kegel that we can do for ourselves.
What is a Kegel? I'm not.
It's an exercise for the pelvic floor muscle.
Oh, okay.
It's an exercise that's really difficult. Most people do it wrong, and most people can't get past 50. So this is giving
And
you
you said how many Kegels?
11,200 in a single 28-minute session.
That's a hell of a lot of Kegels.
And they're
Still
super
don't know what it is.
but they're super maximal Kegels. They're not just your
regular Kegel.
regular Kegels.
Yeah.
Okay. Right after this podcast, I'm gonna go to Wikipedia and find out what the hell that is. So that's good, you know, and I was waiting till we sort of kind of getting towards the end that I wanted to say that I was reading up on what you guys do over there in preparation for this podcast, but I have to commend you both in articulating it so well and in layman's terms, where a dope like me could actually understand what you're saying. And I know that there's a challenge in educating the client, but I think once it gets more well known, especially the Neo, you know.
But it's also setting realistic expectations. You know, you don't want to promise someone that they're going to have surgical results from a non-surgical treatment.
Right.
So setting those expectations properly, and then treating for completion. You know, you don't want to start a treatment and then say, oh, I'm not really seeing improvements, and quit. But you know, you don't take antibiotics for a day or two and say it didn't work. You have to complete your antibiotic.
The whole program.
Right,
yeah.
the whole program.
Well, Joy, you were saying, and you always emphasize full wellness. In other words, exercise, diet, all goes in conjunction with what you guys do over there. So.
And I think Millbrook is a beautiful place to get that comprehensive help, right? You have the medical spa, right? Lily's MediSpa, where you can do these non-invasive treatments, and then right down the street you have Forza Fitness or tennis, you know, for private training or a gym membership there, or you can take tennis lessons with Jane Marcella and, you know, other people here that you can work with each other, you know, with these local businesses to actually feasibly attain realistic goals.
Yeah, well,
right?
Among many things, we are blessed in Millbrook for having all of that.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'd like to just go over some of our other services.
I'd like to hear it, yeah.
Yeah, so we offer laser hair removal, and we offer it very well, you know, with over 18 years experience and state-of-the-art technology. So not only do we have the technology, but if you don't have the right experience, you're not going to get the results from that technology. So we have both. We do photo rejuvenation, non-invasive.
What is that in detail?
So photo rejuvenation is a treatment that's going to do a couple of things for the skin, like improve the color of the skin, whether it's reds or browns. It's going to improve texture of the skin. It's going to stimulate collagen so that you have softening of fine lines and wrinkles. And you're going to change gene expression, which is, you know, it's the skin age delay component that is very real. It delays skin aging. That's why they call it Forever Young, BBL.
Wow.
Because it truly delays skin aging. We have non-invasive skin tightening. We have blue light acne treatments for, you know, acne. So treating acne, a drug-free approach to treatments for acne. We have microneedling with radio frequency, which is much more impactful when you're looking to treat fine lines, wrinkles, acne scars, stretch marks, as well as microneedling with radio frequency. So you can have microneedling on its own.
Now what is that, and what is that?
They're
You get your, is it like acupuncture?
they're literally tiny
Yeah.
needles that,
Much
you know,
more than-
penetrate the skin, and you're really treating the skin from the inside out. Everything else you're coming from the outside in, and there's only so far you can go in safely without causing some kind of harm. This is treating from the inside out. The needles penetrate down to the dermis.
On a specific area of the body?
Yeah,
All over the body.
Anywhere on the body. Usually you want to treat face, neck, décolleté,
Abdomen,
hands, you know,
knees.
you name it, I can treat it. But you're going right to the source, right to the foundation, and you're making some very positive improvements there. We also offer Botox and fillers. You know, Dr. Bogdan and I have been working together for maybe 13 years now. He's
Hydrofacial.
wonderful.
So for that treatment, you have a clinical doctor on?
Yeah, and he's also our medical director.
I see,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
all right.
And people love him. They're in a panic when he's
What's his
away.
Dr. Bogdan.
Peter Bogdan.
Bogdan?
He's wonderful.
And then we've got other services like hydrofacial, chemical peel. We have a low-level laser called Sonetics hair restoration to increase blood flow to the hair on the head.
So when I turn into that guy,
We can
Regrows hair.
we
Alright.
can thicken hair
alright,
and help it from shedding. One-stop shop. We can pretty much tackle most of people's aesthetic concerns.
And we're looking to actually add to our services.
mm-hmm.
We have
We're
endospheres
all-
now.
we have
just bought
endospheres.
another one. I know.
What, you just bought another what?
I know.
Literally in the past month, we brought on 2 technologies. We forgot about one.
I love this industry.
I know. She's a junkie for this stuff.
I love it.
It's her, yeah. But endospheres therapy, that is a great combination therapy with these body contouring. So it's
Yeah.
lymphatic massage for the face and body, and just like the lymphatic system, right? It's responsible for
So wellness treatment.
detoxifying the body, right? The cellular waste, the
The lymph nodes
toxins,
and-
the lymph nodes. When you kill these fat cells, they're pushed out through the lymphatic system. So when you do lymphatic massage with Emsculpt,
Right,
you're
okay.
expediting your results,
Right,
and you're increasing your wellness.
right.
Yeah.
So when you expand these new treatments, you have one eye on how it can be incorporated into
Yes.
everything else. So.
Yeah.
That's okay.
You're always striving for more synergy and what treatment.
All right, even though I'm a large man and have the largest head in North America, Joy and Lily have generously offered to provide a sample service, right?
A complimentary service.
I like the word complimentary. So I'm gonna go over there, not right now, but I am gonna go over there and then I'm gonna report back in a future podcast. Maybe I'll have one of you come up and you can explain what the hell I did and why I look like, Cary Grant all of a sudden.
We're gonna give you a Neo treatment
Okay.
as well as an Amsella treatment. We're
Holy
gonna do
mackerel, what the hell am I
floor.
getting into? All right, well, so I appreciate, again, explaining everything that you do in layman's terms. The average person can understand exactly what you did. You did it very articulately, and I appreciate
Thank you.
that. So you have the Emsculpt and the Emsculpt Neo, and what am I doing, Emsculpt Neo?
Amsella.
Neo. The
Neo.
Emsculpt Neo,
Okay,
which is the high fem technology with the radio frequency, more fat loss, more muscle building and toning.
okay. Your website is www.lilies, no apostrophe, Lilly,
One L.
LILYS MEDI spa.com. So Lily's MediSpa.com. And a lot of your products,
Yeah, the Neo is not on the website just yet because it's
all right, but the
still
Emsculpt,
yeah.
the other Emsculpt is.
Everything else is.
And someone visiting that site will be able to learn more from that site.
Absolutely.
In terms
yeah.
of what you provide. And again, you're at 3286 Franklin Avenue here in Millbrook, New York. The area code is 845 and the number is 677-6100. And you were saying about enveloping a lot of the business. We all stick together here in Millbrook, all the business owners, hopefully.
Well, we're very grateful for your invitation here today.
Oh, yeah, well, again,
Thank you.
I think the biggest challenge is educating people because you have a fantastic product line here.
We do. I think the industry is booming. We're in a great industry. And I was in Weehawken, New Jersey over the weekend at a BTL symposium, and I was talking to one of the best doctors in the United States who, they have their own medical spa and they offer these services. And one thing that he said that just in the last 3 years, our industry has grown more than in the last 15 years.
Wow.
So the
That
industry
should-
is booming. The advances in technology is so much more than we ever believed possible.
Well, the important thing, it sounds to me like that you guys are positioned to capitalize on that advance.
Yeah, and we're excited about it.
Yeah, good.
And we don't have to be complacent, you know, it's not the same paradigm, it's a new paradigm that's shifting, and I think it's imperative to just be educated and aware about it, and then also when you are ready to invest in yourself, right, and invest in our wellness and our health, right, our skin health, body health, you do it with the right people, right, people who genuinely care about you and don't look at you as if you're another number or another ka-ching in their bank account, and I think that's what our
there are
clients love
patients
about
that can
us.
complain about their doctors that way, but you have a personal relationship with your
Very
clients.
much so.
And that makes a difference, and that's why you're so successful, I think. You're both very nice ladies, and you do a personalized service. In other words, service for client A can be different from client B, but
Absolutely.
you learn about client A and client B before you even approach them with
You have to be able to customize the services.
Right, and that's important.
Yeah.
All right, and
put love into the services. That's key.
yeah, well, it's very obvious that you love what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like this better than anthropology?
I think they're both enticing, and I'm in the two different spheres. I love them both for different
When you were
reasons, for
explaining in the
sure.
beginning of the podcast that that was your major study, I was trying to correlate one to the other, and there probably is correlation, right?
There's a correlation. The next podcast, I'll do one just on anthro for you.
Okay,
With my
cool. We'll be
research,
looking.
if you
By
like
that, I'll be
Yeah.
whatever the hell it is, kiteled up. Harvey Keitel. Harvey Keitel. What?
You're trying to say Kegel.
I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but
you need a dictionary.
And I appreciate your time today. And again, LiliesMediSpa.com is a good place to go. Do you have a Facebook page?
Yeah, we do. Lily's MediSpa.
And Instagram?
at Lily's MediSpa.
The whole enchilada.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you, ladies, for coming by today.
Thank you for
It was very
inviting us.
interesting. I enjoyed every minute of it. Thank you.
Same here.